Wow. Listen, the NBA gods are weird. They're going to give us one of the most injury-riddled first half of the regular season and then throw us one of the most fire, the most controversial trade deadlines in recent memory. That's just how the NBA... That's why I always say the NBA is the best league in the world. But today, we're going to be talking about these trades, giving my initial reaction. Now, it's literally 5 minutes after the trade deadline. So these are my initial reactions, initial grades. Now in reality, it can take years upon years to really get an understanding of who won what trade. You know that second round pick that this team threw in? Well, they turned that into this player, and then this player turned into this. So these are my initial reactions. So me and you may disagree, and that is completely fine, but hopefully we can just enjoy that trade deadline is what it is. This is why I always say this is the best time of the year, and now it's over with. And I'm not going to spend time on every single trade, just mostly the bigger ones, because some trades ultimately won't mean much in the grand scheme of things. Before we get into it, I gotta let y'all know again, tomorrow I will be in attendance of the Bulls versus Timberwolves. A lot of people hit me up saying they want to meet up. What we're going to do at halftime, we're going to meet at the famous trophy case, and we can get pictures, get videos, whatever you need. If you're going to be at the game, meet me there at halftime, all right? But now, let's talk about trades. Let's start off with the biggest one. Whoa, first of all, Woj, you took the spotlight back as the guy when it came to trades and everything. But here's the biggest deal of the day. Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, and a first-round pick to the Lakers for Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance. Now, y'all know the Cavs went out and just reformulated their entire team. When you see this many players being traded or signed for a team, you usually think of the NBA offseason, not in the smack dab middle of the season. Because at least in the offseason, you get a couple months for the team to kind of work into it. Nah, the Cavs went out and said, we need to change things up and we gonna trade 6 of our guys. But this trade, let's talk about this trade. Now, in early or before the season even started, I tweeted something saying that Isaiah Thomas is not worth a max contract. And the reason I said that is he thought personally that teams are going to have to bring out the Brink truck. If y'all don't know what the Brink truck is, that's where all the money is for him this offseason. That he hurts he has the surgery on his hip. And the reason I said he's not worth a max contract is because he relies on his athleticism to score. Now, people thought by athleticism I meant that he's jumping over people. He's 5'9", guys. When I say athleticism, I'm not talking him jumping over people. I mean that he gets to the rim and he uses his body to protect the ball and things like that. That's all athleticism. But with this hip injury and this hip surgery, so far this year, he has not been able to do that. And because of that, he's been really, really bad. And people think when I say somebody's bad, I'm not basing it off their previous works, my guy. I'm basing it off what I see right now. And in the 14 games he's played this year, he's been really bad. So it's no surprise that he got traded, especially for a Cavs team that's looking to compete, right? But their return, Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance. Ultimately, Kyrie Irving turned into Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, and that Brooklyn first-round pick. If you think about it that way, that's tough. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this trade is not too bad. When we talk about the other trades that the Cavs did, this trade is not too bad. But the Lakers, big time move. W of a deal. If I had to give it to it, I'm giving them a straight A. Because now, a couple days ago, they said they were reworking their focus from this offseason to the next offseason. But with this trade, they can go. They have enough room to sign 2 max players this year. Lakers fans, you should be rejoicing. Yes, you got rid of Larry Nance, who I'm sure a lot of you liked, or Jordan Clarkson, who a lot of you like too. But again, 2 max contracts. You can throw them out there. Maybe you bring in your Paul George or your DeMarcus Cousins or whatever y'all want. Y'all got the opportunity now. And with Isaiah Thomas, whether he pans out or not, he's on a 1-year deal. You ain't got to bring him back at all. You can just let him walk. Same thing with Channing Frye. You can just let him walk. Oh, and then you got a first-round pick that's going to be in the 20s too. Come on now. That's a W of a trade, especially if those 2 max contracts turns into who you want it to be. Lakers came up big. Now, some people were hitting me up like, yo, is Lonzo going to the bench? Let's be real. They're more likely to start them 2 together to have Lonzo come off the bench. Lonzo is their future star. That's one of their franchise pieces. They're not going to have him come off the bench, especially how good they are with Lonzo on the court. So I'm more in the field to let them play together or let Isaiah Thomas come off the bench again. I tweeted it. From 6-man to MVP candidate to 6-man again, all in the span of 2 years. Come on now. Hopefully Isaiah Thomas can recoup his career, make some money this offseason. I'm still rooting for the guy, but I'm going to be real with him. I'm going to be real with everything, and he has not been good. Let's move on to the next deal, and we can continue talking about the Cavs. 3-team deal. The Cavs get Rodney Hood and George Hill. The Jazz get Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose, and the Kings get Joe Johnson, Iman Shumpert in the second-round pick. And the Kings announced that they're going to release Joe Johnson so Joe Johnson can sign with a contender, and hopefully ISO Joe can go out and try to get him a ring. All right, stick it to the Cavs. This is the best move they could have got. They got two. Listen, this was like a handout. They traded Jay Crowder, who again has underperformed this year for them, and Derrick Rose, who spent half the season trying to think if he wanted to even play basketball, and turned it into Rodney Hood, who's having the best year of his career off the bench, and then George Hill, who's going to help them out. They legitimately have a point guard rotation now. So in the grand scheme of things, maybe the Isaiah Thomas trade is not amazing, but this next trade, with them giving up what they did in their return, is really good. So they got a legitimate point guard rotation. They can start George Hill because he's a better defender and he don't necessarily need the ball. And Jordan Clarkson can come off the bench like he has been doing his entire career. Now at the shooting guard spot, whether it be Rodney Hood or J.R. Smith, whoever starts, they'll be fine with that rotation because both players can get hot and drop a 20-piece if they need to. Small forward position, you got LeBron. Who cares about a backup when you got LeBron? All right. Power forward, with Kevin Love being out, Larry Nance Jr. is going to step in and be their starting power forward, and he showed that he can be good. And then Tristan Thompson. Now, don't be surprised if in the next couple days when we hit buyout season, which is basically officially now, that they go out and sign another big man. I heard Kendrick Perkins, but they need another big body after trading Channing Frye too. So on this trade, Cavs, huge W. I would say like a B+. Y'all got something great in return for basically nothing. And that's really good. Now with the Jazz, I honestly think this is a good trade for them too. They give some pieces in Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose that could help them. Now, a lot of people think that they should go on to the tanking route, start to rebuild. But Rudy Gobert, who is officially, I guess, their best player, is basically in the prime years of his career, or getting towards the prime years of his career. With this trade, they can continue to compete. They turned Rodney Hood into two solid rotational pieces. And I think that's fine. Derrick Rose on a one-year deal. You ain't got to bring him back. Actually, they released Derrick Rose. Now I'm thinking about it. They released Derrick Rose. So is this trade amazing? Nonetheless, I think they did fine for what they gave up. Rodney Hood had been on the trade market for like 2 years now. And they got Jay Crowder in return. And he's a grinded out player, and that's kind of the culture out in Utah. Derrick Rose gets to sign where he wants, and I'm very curious to see where he goes. Now the Kings, this is just a wash of a trade because they want to give the keys to De'Aaron Fox and get rid of that contract, and George Hill is really good. They bring in Iman Shumpert, who's on a 1-and-1 deal, so he's probably going to re-sign this offseason because it's like $10 million if he does, and no other team is throwing him $10 million. But nonetheless, that is less than the contract that they gave George Hill this offseason. So every team comes up a little bit in this trade. Sticking with the Cavs, Dwayne Wade gets thrown back to Miami for a second. I think this is them. I heard rumors that Dwayne Wade just went to the front office and said, okay, I want out. And what other place than put him back where he spent majority of his career, where he turned into the greatness that is the Flash. So this is a W for Dwayne Wade. Maybe not for the Cavs because he has been playing solid this year. I'm sure they could use him still. But if he wanted out, it's good for them to let him get out. And the bromance that is LeBron and Dwayne Wade is no longer there. But listen, Dwayne Wade goes back to Miami. I'm going to be watching that first game where he comes back, and I'm sure the crowd is going to go nuts because y'all know Miami loves their Wade. So everybody gets what they want. Now, Elfrid Payton gets traded to Phoenix for a second-round pick. Now, as far as Phoenix goes, I think this is a good trade because they've lost so many point guards this season. Isaiah Cannon get well soon. Brandon Knight towards ACL in the offseason. Who else is their point guard? Eric Bledsoe, they traded. They have not had a point guard, and because of that, Devin Booker has been the primary ball handler, but now they get a point guard who's still relatively young in Elfrid Payton. Now, here is the big thing. Can they convince Elfrid Payton to cut his damn hair? Because I promise you, if he went to just a fade, dog, he will be so much better of an NBA player because he can actually see everything. Like 30% of his vision is blocked by the droopiness of his hair. If they convince my man to just line it up, braid it or something, he will be a better NBA player. That's all I'm saying. Now, the Orlando Magic, I think they're what they went for with this trade is that he's on the last year of his rookie deal, so somebody's gonna have to pay him, and we don't want to be that guy. We don't think he's good enough for the contract that some team may offer him. So let's get rid of him now and get something in return, which is a second-round pick from Memphis. So The Suns definitely win this trade. Orlando, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on in Orlando. Next deal was another 3-team trade. The Knicks get Emmanuel Mudiay, the Nuggets get Devin Harris in a second-round pick, and the Mavericks get Doug McDermott in a second-round pick. This is another one of those trades that may ultimately mean nothing, but the Knicks take a flyer on Emmanuel Mudiay, who's still pretty young and hasn't turned into anything. Maybe he turns into something. That's all I can think about. Next? And the last deal that I think that actually means anything is the Pistons went out and made 2 small deals. They brought in James Ennis and they traded Bryce Johnson, the second-round pick, and then they got Jameer Nelson from Chicago for Willie Reed. First off, we don't rock with Willie Reed no more. Google what the man did last week and you will understand. We don't rock with him at all. But I think these are 2 moves that are going to help their team. James Ennis has showed that he can score the ball and that's good. I was hoping they would go out and get somebody that's better shooting, because on this Detroit Pistons team they don't have many shooters, but they still haven't won a game, so that's always good. And Jameer Nelson at 36, is he still any good? Who knows? But at least they got a little bit more point guard depth with Reggie Jackson being out for who knows how long. But those are the trades that matter. There were some small trades like Noah Vonleh coming to Chicago, Luke Babbitt going back to Miami. None of those trades are going to mean much, but they happen. Now with trade deadline being over, there are some players stuck on their teams like DeAndre Jordan, Kemba Walker, Tyreke Evans. Dog, the GMs in Memphis need to chill, all right? Why? Why did you not trade Tyreke Evans? He's not re-signing with you. He will not re-sign with you. And then you're tanking too. Y'all not winning games. Get rid of the one guy that's been helping y'all win some games and get something in return. I don't understand. And then they also said, we're not trading Marc Gasol. At least listen to the offers. They've been hanging up the phone. Those guys are stubborn down there. Y'all not competing no more, dog. Just hit the reset button. Y'all setting y'all franchise back. But Avery Bradley, Julius Randle, Derek Favors, these are all guys that were rumored to be traded but never actually got traded. So those are the deals that actually matter. Now, obviously, the big talk is LeBron and the Cavs. Did they make the right moves here and there? Is LeBron going to be happy? Here's my take on that. I think LeBron is going to be happy with these deals. Obviously, Isaiah Thomas wasn't helping. It's facts. He was not helping. Their team is the 2nd to 3rd worst defense in the league. You cannot win a championship if you don't defend. That's just how it works. And they bring in some players that are gonna help their. I said it on Twitter, like their defensive rating should be a lot better now that they've made these moves. Their point guard rotation is gonna be good. Their shooting guard rotation is gonna be better. And when they get that big man in buyout season, they're gonna be a lot better defensively. And I think that's gonna help entice like LeBron. Look. You weren't happy with your team, and look what we did for you, dog. Stay here. We need you. We need you. And they also kept the Brooklyn pick. So even if LeBron does walk, they got guys under contract that can still be okay for their future and their rebuilding process. So the Cavs, whether or not you agree with the trades that the Cavs did, I think that they walked away with a huge dub. Will they be a championship winner this year? Probably not. But in the grand scheme of things, I think they did okay. So thank y'all so much for watching. Again, we didn't hit on every trade because Noah Vonleh to Chicago don't matter. Luke Babbitt going back to Miami don't matter too much right now. But again, it may be in the future. We'll talk about that there. So buyout season coming up. We'll probably make another video once the buyouts start happening. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Let me know if you like what your team did this trade deadline. Whether it be the Celtics who did do nothing. That not doing nothing is a move in itself, all right? So whether it be the Celtics not doing anything and the Cavs doing everything, let me know what you think of your team. I'll see y'all tomorrow.